Kevin J Johnston, the #1 name in the land of the North, he's risen to fame. 40 years deep in the law he's read. Now the CRA shakes in fear and dread. Stop paying tax forever, my friend. With Kevin J Johnston, the fight doesn't end. Corporate debt, he'll make it all good. He's the man the CRA misunderstood. Payroll problems, they vanish like mist when Kevin shows up with his legal fist. No more matching, no more lies, just clean-cut books and clear blue skies. Stop paying tax forever, my friend. With Kevin J Johnston, the rules start to bend. The CRA can scream and shout, but Kevin knows how to throw them out. They claim they've got the final say, but Kevin proves there's a better way. He fights for truth, he fights for you, and teaches what the courts won't do. Forever today. Let Kevin J Johnston show you the way. The expert, the rebel, the man with a plan. He's saving this nation, one client per hand. He's got 40 years of tax law knowing and corporate skills that keep cash flowing. GST, payroll, all in line. He'll save your neck and every dime. He studied law, both civil crime, and makes tax code sound so sublime. With stand-up jokes and punchlines tight, he makes your seminar a night of light. Kevin J, CRA just runs away. He's the tax manslayer with a legal plan, the best-looking genius in the land. Kevin J, taking all your tax away. If the government's scared, then it's safe to say he's the hero of the North, Kevin J. 2 million women cast their vote, said Kevin's hot, that's all she wrote. The suits at CRA can't compete, he's beaten them clean without deceit. 100 mil he's saved so far, he's raising truth like a legal star. And if you think you owe the state, he'll show you how to terminate. Kevin J, CRA just runs away. He's the tax manslayer with a legal plan, the best-looking genius in the land. Kevin J, taking all your tax away. If the government's
Kevin J Johnston here. Welcome to the Tax and Money Show that runs every single Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on freedomreport.ca. Tonight's topic: stop flushing profits away. That's right. I turn your tax into capital. Thank you very much for being here, everyone. We always appreciate seeing each and every one of you. Reminders: I am buying TikTok channels and I am buying Instagram channels. That's right. We need more social media. Our message needs to get out to the masses, everybody. And the best way to do that is to have thousands of social media accounts. So if anybody out there has more than 500 followers on those platforms, please get a hold of me on my website, kevinjjohnston.com, and let us know that you're ready to sell me your TikTok and or Instagram channel. I'll rebrand the thing. I'll put this lovely face on it, and we'll go to town teaching absolutely everybody how to never again pay tax in Canada. Woo, what a week, everybody. We want to cover today how it is that we can put capital back in your hands. All right. For everyone out there in Canada who runs a small business, we know that you're struggling. We know you're not making money. We know you're not making money for a few reasons. And I'm going to cover those reasons right now. Number one is the culture. Canadian culture has been completely watered down. We no longer have a culture in Canada where if you want something, you go to a store, look at it, talk with the owner, talk with the sales guy. If you like it, you buy it. We have cultures now that are dominant in the country where you go into a store and try to talk your way into something for free. And of course, everyone who does not want to go for that gets called names like racist and so on. It is ridiculous. So you have a watered down culture. That's number one. Number two, everyone's broke. Everyone's broke. I talked to two of my contractor clients, and they're desperate to figure out why it is that they don't have any clients. I tell them, cause you're in Toronto. That's why. The condo market's down up to 38% in some neighborhoods. And all these condominium projects, including the tallest building in Canada that they're putting together in Toronto, they've all stopped. They've halted every single one of these projects, everybody. So it's not like if you put money into a future built project that you're going to get the condominium in the future. You're just not. So you have an economy that is completely and totally stagnant. Real estate is going down, not up. The banking industry is something that nobody trusts anymore. Of course, you're going to be broke in a country like that. And on top of all of that, Canadians pay up to 73% tax on everything that they earn. All right. Factor all that in. What if, everybody, hear me out, what if you never paid income tax again for the rest of your life? What if your corporation stopped paying tax, legally stopped paying tax, not through loopholes and not through illegal tricks and not through the free man on the land nonsense you come across out there, the sovereign citizen doo-doo, and it is doo-doo. We don't play those games. We're following the law and we're following the rules of the courts and the procedures of the courts, the procedures of the country itself. What if I told you you never had to pay tax again? Would you believe me? Well, why don't you guys tell me in the comments? Go ahead. You tell me if you'd believe me if I tell you right now, as Canada's #1 tax expert, if I can pull you out of the tax system legally, do you believe me? And do you want to do it? Do you want to stop paying tax in Canada? That is the question I'm hoping that each and every one of you is going to say yes to. Why would you not want to say yes to that? Come on, folks. Taxes are not going into infrastructure in Canada. They're not going into education. They're not going into hospitals. They're not going into anything of any value whatsoever. We're giving money away en masse to countries around the world that some of you have never heard of. And some of you have no clue where they exist on the map. And I'm also going to say that we are funding wars in Africa and Asia and in Eastern Europe that have nothing to do with us. That's where your money is going, everybody. So why give money away? Knowing that your money is going to leave the country and buy bullets for a war that has nothing to do with any of you, you're going to keep paying tax. Hopefully not, okay? Hopefully you're not. So how do we stop paying tax? I made the announcement last week, and I'm going to keep doing it until it gets into everybody's head. I know a lot of you panic a little bit when I say that you don't have to legally pay capital gains. You don't have to, in Canada and Australia, you don't even have to report a capital gain. Clause 150 of the Income Tax Act says that you shall do a tax return, not you must do a tax return. Words matter. Shall is a suggestion, must is a command. I'm not really a fan of being commanded, I might add, but your capital gain can just be eliminated by walking away from it, not reporting it, exercising your right to remain silent. But so many people out there all say the same thing. But I didn't want to go to jail. I didn't want to wear handcuffs. It sounds ridiculous. Remember Andrew Dice Clay in the 80s where he would do those jokes going, that's exactly what I feel like. Sometimes when I'm explaining to people, you don't have to put information on a tax return that hurts you. I feel like I have to talk like a seal, all right? For example, that is what I feel like sometimes explaining this to everyone. It's over and over again. I keep getting grown men and grown women saying, I didn't want to go to jail. And I asked them, what will be the criminal charge? If you're going to go to prison for not reporting a capital gain, what's the criminal charge? Go on, quote me the law. I don't know. And what's the arrest procedure? Do you go straight to jail? You don't pass go. You don't collect $200. You just go straight there. You just go straight to jail. You don't get told what your rights are. You don't sit in the back of a police car for a bit. You don't get to talk to a lawyer. No one thinks this stuff through. So let's explain how it really works in Canada. If the police want to question you, but they're not going to arrest you, they're going to ask you questions. And what do? Gentlemen, thank you for this glorious opportunity to have a conversation. I'm going to decline. You could call my lawyer if you wish, but I'll exercise my right to remain silent. Close the door. Close the door. Or better yet, when the police come to your door, don't answer the door. You're not obligated to answer the door. Sometimes the cops will just phone you. Sometimes they'll text you. If they do that, you talk to a lawyer first and then let them know that they can't talk to you. They should talk to your lawyer. A friend of mine actually just got arrested 4.5 weeks ago. Why? Because he was speeding like a maniac, or allegedly, right? And someone got his plate number. The cops sent him over a text and asked him if he could call. So he asks me, what do I do? I said, well, here's my lawyer. Drop him $500 and have him make the phone call. And it turns out the cops wanted to arrest him for stunt driving. So the advice that was given to him is make sure your car stays hidden, pull the plates and slip a piece of paper over top of the VIN number so that they can't impound the car, because in the province of Ontario, I think it's 50 kilometers an hour or more over the speed limit. They call it stunt driving, and they'll steal your car. Yeah, they steal. It's not impounding. It's theft. The cops will steal your car. So he was told, go put it into a public storage bin somewhere and leave it there until the charges are cleared. So he goes in, he does the right thing and says nothing, and he makes bail that day. And then the Crown figured out that there was going to be no case because, the witness called and said they don't want to go to court. So it's over. But if he had shot his mouth off, I was driving on the 427. I was in a hurry. Oh, yeah, my car's in my driveway. Okay, they would have taken his car and locked him up for 30 days. A 1-year driver's license suspension. So if he kept his mouth shut, he did what I told him to do, shut up. And I'm telling all of you the same thing. When it comes to your taxes, shut up. Shut the F up. Stop talking. Just because someone asks you a question doesn't mean you have to answer it. Someone rings your doorbell. You don't have to answer the door. Someone makes a phone call. You don't have to pick it up. These are things you just don't do if you want to keep what you have. So in the taxation game, because so many of you just don't understand how the law works and are fearing prison time, I decided to contact my lawyer, because we made a bunch of purchases last month of some corporations that had massive capital losses. We are talking 601. So it's $601 million. That's right. That's how much I have in the way of capital gains. Sorry, I'm capital losses by mistake. Capital losses. Called my lawyer, said, look, I got this great idea. I got a great idea, because nobody seems to believe me that you can not fill things out, and it's okay. Could I transfer a capital loss? And it turns out we can, and it's completely legal to do. And that is why I keep a lawyer on retainer, everybody. So if any of you out there have a capital gain on gold, silver, crypto, hopefully you've not spoken about your crypto, on a house, on a rental house, a cottage, third, fourth properties, and so on. If any of you out there have any capital gains, then get a hold of me on my website. I'm going to sell you some of my capital losses. Here's how we really do it, okay, guys? So let's say 2020, you sold your rental property. Why you would tell anyone you've got a rental property is beyond me, but you have the right to do so. So your capital gain, let's say, would be about $380,000. So what I would do is transfer a capital loss of $500,000 to you, but I would put that capital loss in the previous year, the year before your capital gain. So that way, with your capital gain, it stays on your personal ledger forever, or at least until you burn that up. So in the next tax year, I would mark down that your capital gain is wiped out by the capital loss. I take $500,000 in capital loss, I pull it forward, and then I keep the balance. So in that case, it'd be $120,000 of capital loss left over that you could utilize towards another capital gain in the future. How do I sell you capital loss? Ancient Chinese secret. I am not telling you how I do it. Why? Because I'm the one who figured it out. And I'm not going to give my secrets away for free. I'll make money on my secrets. I've learned all this stuff, guys, because I'm a curious guy. And I like making money. And I hate the government. And I hate Canada in general. I absolutely despise the CRA. And I kind of do like people. And I'd like to see people keep their money. So I learn. I study and I learn. I study and I learn. And I am not telling you what my secrets are until 10 years from now, when I've made my millions of dollars, all right? And then I'll write it in a book when it's 10 years too late. How does that sound? All right. In the meantime, if you have a capital gain, I'm going to sell you my capital losses. And we're going to put them on your ledger, and you're not going to pay a penny of capital gains tax on absolutely anything that you do. Getting back to tonight's show title, which is Stop Flushing Profits Away. The other thing I wanted to tell all of you is that you need to stop, and I mean immediately stop, believing that you have to make an announcement to the Canadian government when you are leaving the country. Why? The second you make the grandiose announcement, I'm leaving the country, the CRA, even if you keep your house and you keep your car and you keep your gold and silver and crypto and everything else you told them that you have, they are just going to say, oh, John Smith sold everything. Let's tax him on everything. You didn't sell it. They don't care because they're criminals. They will break the law. They're committing fraud when they do this, by the way, but they're going to do it anyway. And they're going to do it because you told them, I'm leaving the country. Why? Why does everybody make these big announcements? Why do people take photographs of food they're about to eat and share that with the world? Why do you all go on vacation and take 900 selfies and show the world where you are? Why? Don't do that. You're giving information about your lifestyle away. And the CRA will tell you from time to time that they want to judge your lifestyle and make sure that your income matches the lifestyle that they think that you have. And of course, the more grandiose you are with your announcements and the more grandiose you are on social media, the more that they're going to assume that you've made lots and lots of money, and they're going to want to tax you. Oh, look at that. Ooh, shake the head and the coins fly out. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. So they're going to want to tax you on that. But if you exercise your right to remain silent and tell them, hey, guys, no. Thank you, Mr. CRA. No. And if you call me again, we're calling the cops. Don't make any announcements. Now, everyone, on top of me being able to save you all of your capital gain. Look, I got $601 million of capital losses that I can sell to you. That's going to save you a bundle. The next thing is, everyone, if you run a business in Canada, you've got to collect, well, they say you do, you've got to collect the goods and services tax. 5% federally. If you're in the province of Ontario, they merged it into the harmonized sales tax. That's 13%, and it's 14% in Nova Scotia. Now, what if you're collecting this HST? Let's say you make $1 million a year. You're making so you're bringing in $130,000 in HST. You don't want to collect it from your clients. Your clients don't want to pay it, but you all think it's the law and you have to, so you do it. How's about this? I am going to take over all of your GST reporting throughout the entire year, and I'm going to reinvest some of that HST money and or GST money back into your business 100% legally. How does that sound? It's completely tax-free because investment dollars are not taxable in Canada. So the company is not making an earning on that. What they're doing, the company's getting an investment from me. Remarkable, isn't it? If you're on this GST or HST program with me, you don't pay for any of your tax services for your corporation and for your HST and or GST submissions on a monthly, quarterly, or annual basis. And I'm suggesting now that all of you keep your books in order. If you make more than $1 million per year, it's actually a good idea, if and only if I'm your tax guy, to do quarterly HST filings. If you are going it alone, if I'm not your tax guy, then you should do all your HST and GST recording to the government on an annual basis. And that way you can get more back if you play your cards right. And of course, I play my cards right every single tax return that we perform. My Lord, everybody, my team and I, we have been spending a great deal of time going through Canadian case law to ensure that we are 100% correct in what we do and what we say. And it turns out that we are now being hired. I'm not a licensed lawyer, everyone, but we are now being hired by law firms to scrutinize their paperwork. Is that remarkable or what? Did you know that we actually do taxes for other accountants? We're not going to tell you who they are because that's privacy. I take privacy very seriously. And we have a lot of cops as clients now, and the cops are not happy with the CRA. And I keep asking these guys, I'm not telling you who they are, but gentlemen, would you please put your body armor on, get your guns and get your handcuffs, and just go and arrest everybody at the CRA, please. Extortion, uttering threats, fraud over 5,000. Yeah, man, theft, extortion. It's all of them. Just go get these people, lock them up. It would be so easy to get CRA staff to not go to work anymore. Go arrest 20. That's all it would take. Put 20 behind bars and give the information to me so I can publicly humiliate them. Keep the story going about XYZ Jones got arrested or Parminder Singh got arrested. It'd be wonderful, would it not? And each and every one of you out there can do the same thing. You are all within your rights to go to the courthouse and file criminal charges against anyone. Collection agents, CRA, bylaw officers that are giving you a tough time. Just because someone says they have a government job doesn't mean that they are anything special at all. And remember what I said about 2 or 3 shows ago is people who work for the Canadian government are lower in intelligence than the average individual. They have no entrepreneurial spirit. They have no idea how to run a business. They have no managerial experience. They have no capacity to solve any problems at all. They whine and cry and take time off for stress leave whenever the job gets to be too much. For example, someone asks them to work more than 30 minutes a day, and they go home. Typically, they go home around 4:30 in the afternoon. It's our duty when we're dealing with government employees in Canada to make sure that they are extremely uncomfortable at home from the time they get home to the time they leave to go back to work the next morning. How do we do that? We show up at their doors with court papers, legal court documents. Serve, serve, serve. Do you know you can serve any type of letter in that personal fashion? Here's where it gets awesome. You don't even have to file lawsuits. You can write a cease and desist letter, talk to a notary for $25, get them to swear that in, and go serve it at 2 o'clock in the morning. It's considered a court document. So if you know where CRA representatives live, you can ring the doorbell all night long until they answer, serve the piece of paper, and leave. Yes, Janine. Yes, we are taking on clients. All right, everyone. So we can fight this. I want to talk now about payroll, if we could. 9 out of 10 corporations in Canada that come to us for tax services are absolutely screwing up their payroll. And I know that's a difficult one because it is a difficult payroll is a difficult thing for the average person to fully comprehend. Why? Because there are 4 taxes that you have to deduct from everybody: the federal tax, the provincial tax, the Canada pension plan, which is going to be empty in like 7 years, and employment insurance, which is empty now. And then the corporation has to match the Canada pension plan 100% and match the EI contribution 140%. So it's a lot of money. On $100,000 a year in the province of Ontario, a corporation is going to deduct $26,500 from each staff member, but also contribute an additional $6,000 to the government. And that's money they never get back. They can't even write that money off. And then what will happen is you collect money, you pay your staff, you foolishly put them on T4s, and then you just kind of forget to segregate that money. One of the safest ways to run a business is to have a separate bank account for GST that you collect and a separate bank account for payroll that you collect and remit. But people don't do that. They merge everything into one bank account because the banks make it difficult to get bank accounts. Canadian banks suck in general. Everything to do with the Canadian banking system just sucks. Right? It's almost like Canadians don't want to make money. That's how bad the entire institution is. So you get screwed. At the end of the year, you file your big T4 reports to the government, and the government says, oh, you owe us 500 grand. And you're saying, oh, yeah, I spent that money. Not because you're a bad person, not because you're a stupid person, but because you're not an accountant. If you're a plumber, you're not an accountant. You're plumbing. You're making money plumbing. You're reselling some supplies. That's what you should be doing. The economy is no longer that we can have full-time accountants working for us. It used to be that you could have a bookkeeper and pay them $18,000 a year, and that was more than enough money for them to cover everything and put money away. That's not the case anymore at all. And on top of that, and I've learned this lesson already, is when you do hire people, it's less than a 50% chance that they're actually going to do the job. It's less than a 50% chance they're going to show up and actually work all day during the work day. We've had such bad luck finding hardworking people who want money and actually want to earn it. A lot of people come to us saying they want the money, they don't do the job. So imagine being a plumber who's trying to find a full-time accountant to keep his books in order, right? It's a full-time job just to find someone to do that full-time job, which means the plumber is not plumbing. And when he is not out there plumbing, he's not making money. So everyone, it is a difficult time for everyone. Payroll. The best thing for each and every one of you in Canada to do when you have a corporation or a company that has staff is just let me take over the payroll. All right. The way that we will do it is this. You send all the gross pay to your staff members to my team. My team does the pay stubs. We get the T4 written and we get the money into the bank and out the door for you. It goes straight to your staff members. They get paid whenever you say that they get paid. And I don't charge a penny for this service, by the way. And not only do I not charge you for the service, but we take some of that money and we reinvest it back into your business. That's right. If I'm doing your GST, HST, and your payroll, everyone, you're never going to pay tax. And I'm going to be reinvesting back into your business. Now, how would Kevin J Johnston do this when even ADP can't do this? Because I'm not afraid of the CRA. Because I know the laws better than any lawyer in Canada does. Because I know the procedures in the courts. Because I know how the CRA functions. And on top of all of that, I love making money. Yeah, I think that the average person in Canada is absolutely terrified to make money. And I've had this conversation with a few people, and look, I'm like Kevin O'Leary. Money, I want to make some money. And I'm not even waking up unless I know I'm making money tomorrow. I'll tell you this right now. Someone said, can I have a meeting with you at 5 a.m.? I would not even consider turning on the alarm clock for anything less than $1,500 for that meeting. Money. I love money. I want all of you watching this show to love money as much as I do. And the only way for you to keep the money that you make is to just not pay tax in Canada or in Australia. Coming soon to America, I might add. But guys, why are we giving our money away to a government that doesn't like us and wants to give it away to all of their friends? All they're doing is taking your wealth and transferring it to third world countries. No, thank you. No, thank you. Give me your payroll. All of you watching the show, if you've got a business, I want to take over your GST, I want to take over your payroll, and I'm going to take some of those proceeds and invest them right back into your company legally so you have more operating capital than you will know what to do with. And that is the best part of working with me. No one knows more about how to defeat the CRA than me. For God's sakes, I filed a $100 million lawsuit against the CRA, and they did not even defend it. They're terrified of me. They should be. I hate them with all my heart. They absolutely should be. I am on a crusade to wipe them out completely. I want that agency dissolved. I want the Canada Revenue Agency to enter into the annals of the history books as a really bad idea that'll never come back. That's what I would love to see happen. And how do we do that? We crush their morale by crushing the individual people that work there. How do we do that? We file criminal charges. We sue them. We put liens on their properties. Thank you for the pirate hat. We make sure that in every way, shape, or form, their lives are as miserable as we can make them legally. So don't throw eggs at their house. That's vandalism. Don't slash their tires. That's vandalism. Yeah, don't let their house on fire. That's arson and attempted murder. Don't do those things. No, let's use the system that they say that they love so much and take their property away with just pieces of paper like they do to us. And I know how to do this. And each and every one of you out there needs to consider that there is an alternative to paying tax. And the alternative is to not pay tax by knowing how to not pay tax. That's the point of this show. I want you to all stop being afraid of the CRA and recognize them for what they are. A collection agency full of people with incredibly low intelligence quotients, bereft of imagination and humanity. We don't have to be kind to them, and we don't have to do anything that they say. I mean, absolutely nothing that they say. So to recap, everyone, because we're going to move on to questions now, and I want your questions to be business related tonight if we can, please. All right. I can sell anybody watching a capital loss in Australia and in Canada. It is completely legal for that to take place. I will be able to do that in less than 72 hours. We can transfer as much as you need up to the amount that I have available right now, which is $601 million of capital loss. Next, your GST. If you're collecting GST, HST, and PST anywhere in Canada, let me take over the filing of all those accounts, and we're going to be able to reinvest what you're collecting into your company. That way you're going to have operations capital for you to pay your staff on time and to expand. And the last thing is, I need each and every one of you running a corporation right now who has staff. Let me take over your payroll, and we're going to reinvest some of your payroll right back into your company and alleviate your corporation of all the responsibility of T4s, T5s, T4As, T1s, T everything else. You're not going to be having to worry about taxes any longer, because when you're on our programs, we do all your corporate taxes free of charge. Who else would do that? You think Deloitte's going to do that? You think MNP is going to do that for you? How about Farm Business Consulting? No, all those companies are going to take your money and give you nothing of value in return for it. You've got to be very careful who you give your money to these days. And before we move on to the question and answer period, I must remind everybody watching, I am not on Telegram. Do not speak to the AI version of this face on Telegram. Do not give anybody money who's asking for it through social media. I will not ask you to send me money or crypto or anything else through any social media platform. If you are not communicating with me through my official website, kevinjjohnston.com, you're not talking to me. You're talking to a robot or you're talking to some Nigerian prince. You're talking to somebody who's going to take your money and run. And I'm not helping you get it back. That's not my job. Your job is to do your due diligence. Remember what we talked about, everybody? When you're in a consultation with me, I told you, ask me to show you some stuff on my desk, all right? Ask me to show you my little rubber pen here for the screen. Ask me to put on my glasses. How's that sound? The AI bots out there can't do that. In fact, I've seen how these deep fake bots work. And they're very non-liquid. They're very non-fluid. It's, hi, my name is Kevin J Johnston. Send me 0.42 Bitcoin. They're horrible. They're horrible. And you ever notice with puppeteering software, please pay attention to my face, everyone. Puppeteering software has the teeth like this. Send me Bitcoin. All right. When I speak, because I broke my jaw, not once, but twice, because I took a puck in the face that blinded me in my left eye partially and peeled my nose off, because I used to box and I got the snot knocked out of me in a few fights. This upper lip is somewhat paralyzed, okay? You understand? I've had so many injuries in my life that my top teeth cannot show unless I pull my jaw backwards, all right? And the AI can't simulate all the injuries that I've had in my head alone. It just can't. So you see, when I speak, you only see my bottom teeth because my top lip is paralyzed. My God, everyone. So please, I'm telling all of you how not to get ripped off. And I'm not complaining about my injuries. All of them are my fault. I did not have to be a boxer. I did not have to fight full contact in stupid karate tournaments. I did not have to play hockey without a mask. That was my choice. I didn't have to ride a BMX on crazy dirt tracks without wearing a helmet. All of those were my choice. I'm not bitching about the paralyzed lip, the blind eye, the ringing in this ear, the scar tissue all over my face. I'm telling you, pay attention to it. That's it. Right? All the puppeteering software shows top. I can't show my top teeth. All right. All right. So let's get into your questions and answers now, everybody. I see that we have 93 messages here on TikTok. Let's fly through them here. Someone that looks like you was online. Yeah. Again, it's a bot. I'm telling all of you, it's a bot. Ask me to hold up the mice that are on my desk. Ask me to do stuff that AI cannot do. And make sure you're talking to me on my website, please. Imaya says, can I work online in Canada and issue an invoice for my time from a Dubai business account? Yeah. You are allowed to register corporations pretty much anywhere in the world where that country allows foreigners to own a business. Dubai loves money. Now, the people in Dubai, they love making money. I love making money. So Dubai allows foreign ownership of land, which the Saudis are now copying, by the way. And Dubai will allow a foreigner to own a corporation in United Arab Emirates. Absolutely, they will. So the answer is yes. Rockster33 says, I'm interested in GST for my company this year. Randy is with me in the room right now. Randy is standing by. Randy even has the operator's headpiece on. So shoot over to my website right now and hit the contact page. That's kevinjjohnston.com, and tell Randy you want the GST program in place. He's going to message you back right now. He's here right now in this room with me. Put some pants on. All right. Let's keep going here. Can you sell a capital loss in 2020? Uh-huh. I can sell you a capital loss back any year that the CRA will accept. Now, in some cases, the CRA will not accept taxation being done 12 years or more backwards. So that may not work. But if your capital loss is within your capital gain is within the last 5 years, yep, I can most certainly sell you a capital loss and wipe it out. Hey, if the CRA says I owe nothing to them, is that true before I do taxes? I owe EI 16K. All right, so with employment insurance owing them, like the CRA, they have an objection form. You always want to object to everything that the employment insurance office has to say. object to all of it. If you have a personal HST number, then what you could do is utilize your expenses to offset whatever the EI office says that you owe. That can be done. There's a few ways to deal with that. What you could do, of course, is become a customer, and we could take care of that for you. I like wiping people's debt right out. We can do that for pretty much everyone. Mo, I am a truck company driver working under a corporation. Will I be screwed if I keep filing without PSB? Not if I'm your tax guy. The biggest issue in the world is that everybody talks. I said that at the beginning of the show. Stop talking. You don't have to tell the CRA anything. If you are an independent individual and you have a corporation as an independent corporate operator, so long as you have 2 customers, you're going to be fine. And the way that we do it here is if you need a second customer, let us know. And you can cut us an invoice as an actual customer. You pay your own invoice, of course, but now you've got 2 customers, and now you qualify as an independent corporation, and they cannot state that you actually have a job. Screw the CRA. All right, let's keep going here with your questions. How do I get the most of the Canadian government instead of them milking me? God, where do I start with that one? I got to be careful what I say on that one, because CRA watches this. Every police station in the country watches this show. CSIS watches my show. So I'm not going to come on this show and tell you to do something illegal, but I am going to say that if you operate in the gray, there are a lot of ways that you can get bonuses and grants from the Canadian government, especially if you are putting together charities for, we'll call it, foreign-based individuals. Do it that way. What I'm saying is if you're not white, you get money. All right. So there's a lot of programs out there where the government will fund you if you are not Caucasian. Look into them. Take the money. What's the new mandate for the drivers in corporate? Okay, that's a good question. You're talking about truckers, I assume. So with truckers, the Canada Revenue Agency says that if you are an independent owner operator of a truck and you only have 1 client, then they're going to bill you as if you are an employee of that individual corporation, which of course is illegal, but they're going to do it anyway. It's fraud is what it is. Because if you designate yourself as a corporation owner, nobody without a court order can say, well, no, we disagree and we're going to do it our way. Fraud. You got to file charges, guys. File charges. But all you need to do is, if you are a corporation, an independent truck driver, just you, no staff, but you're operating out of a corporation, you just need to have 2 customers. So you could go down to your local Max Milk, and the Max Milk guy can pay you $1 to drive milk to the other side of the parking lot. Now you got a second customer. It is that simple. Make sure you got more than 1 customer, and you're going to be fine. Pantry says, I'm on my 2nd bank account freeze. Can you sue them for freezing the bank account? Not only can you sue the bank for freezing your bank account, you can file criminal charges against everybody who works in that bank branch, because it's theft. It's breach of trust. Breach of trust is a very serious crime. The CRA sends letters without court orders, and the banks act on the letters without court orders. They're guilty of 2 crimes. Yes, start charging. Same thing every show. I am not married, for God. Why do you people care about that? Stop asking me. That's every show since January of last year. God, yes. I hope it's not a guy asking me that. Do I do regular taxes, self-employed, early childhood educator, and government worker? Absolutely we do. Yes, we do personal taxes all the time for people, and we get you the maximum refund the law will allow us to get you. We are not afraid of the CRA. And when other accountants will tell you that you can't write that off and you can't write that off, I'm going to tell you not only can you write those 2 things off, you can write 10 more off. There's about 100 to 120 things that I can write off just on personal tax alone. And we are going to write them off. Floating spaces. I moved to Toronto from Vancouver, and my accountant said she can no longer do my taxes due to different laws. That's a dumbass. That's a moron. That's a fool. You are allowed to do taxes anywhere in the country. Lawyers can practice law in other provinces. All they need to do is just tell the court that, oh, I'm licensed in a different province. And the court will say, okay. That's a very uneducated person. It's good that that person is no longer your accountant. They're probably going to destroy you. How much do I charge? At the low end, $950 per tax year. At the high end for personals, about $2,500. At the low end for corporate, $2,500 per tax year. At the high end, can go as high as $10,000. It almost never does. We average it out about $4,000 per tax year for corporate taxes. There we go. Hope that helps. Jay Danke, I got audited already and I need to get it appealed. Yeah, you need to appeal it. As soon as you get whatever assessment they issue to you, you should appeal everything. If you do not like, if you don't like the response that you get from the CRA, if you don't like what they have sent you, then appeal it. You have to object. Please do that. Jay Danke, can I still buy your capital loss? Yes, we have lots, $601 million of capital loss. The answer is yes. I'd love to get you some of that. How do you say that? Mert. Okay, I haven't filed my corporate business tax for the past 3 years, but the bank needs T1s to remove my mortgage. Oh, you better grab yourself a consultation on that one, my friend, because there's some stuff I got to do for you that I cannot talk about here. Please, thank you. All right, checking more questions here. Jay Danke, go to my website right now. My name, kevinjjohnston.com. Randy is at the desk in front of me. He will answer you right now. Thank you. Oh, Glenn says I'm lagging. Well, that's not good. Guys, am I lagging? Let me know, everybody. All right, let's get some more questions going here. How old am I? 54. Why does that matter? Gonna keep going through here. CPMAC, if I invest my incorporation dollars into stocks through a hold company and sell for gains, when are the taxes due? Well, if I'm your tax guy, never. I got to be your tax guy, Pia. Make me your tax guy. And the answer is never. You will never pay a penny if I'm your tax guy. Oh, boy. All right. I'm going to do two things here, folks. There we go. So I have switched off of Wi-Fi and now I'm on data. So let's see if that improves the quality of that. Floating spaces. I'm not sure which question you're asking me to repeat, so go ahead and ask it again. Anybody who wants to talk to me, get over to the contact page of my website or grab yourself a consultation. And speaking of consultations, everyone, don't forget that we have another group consultation. On the last Wednesday of every single month, we have a group consultation, everybody. It's only $250. It's 3 hours. There's going to be only 30 spots in there. Only 30 people can get in there. I give a tax lecture for a bit, and then we answer every single person's questions throughout the entire course of that evening. Just $250 at kevinjjohnston.com. Get in there. It's the last Wednesday. This one is February 25th, Wednesday, February 25th at 8 p.m. Eastern time. The group consults, folks, are a lot of fun because a lot of people ask a lot of really cool questions. All right, don't forget I'm buying TikTok channels and I am buying Instagram channels. If you want to offload them, let me know. I'm buying as many as I can get my hands on. Let's go back to some of your questions here. Dave Jarmy, no, the AI income tax, we're tweaking it a bit. It's going to be ready shortly. I'll have a more official announcement soon. All right. So, all right, we're talking about Shake Pay. I think you two are having a separate conversation. If you this is a good question. This one's fair. If you mess up my taxes, the CRA going to come after me, or will they come after you? Well, they always go straight to the taxpayer, and I despise that term. That's the term they use, not me. So yeah, they would go at you, but I'll be the one signing off on the affidavits stating that your taxes are entirely my responsibility. So they may or they may not come after me, but if they say that they don't like your taxes, it's not like they come after you. They send you an assessment telling you that they disagree with the number that we sent in, and they say, here's the number that we think. Now, it's always a lie. Whenever you get an assessment from the CRA saying that you owe money, it's a lie. They just send these letters out and hope you pay, and many people do. So we resubmit your taxes. That's what we do immediately. SR, lots of accountants on TikTok are scaring people that write off family vacation as a business expense. Yeah, you know what though? A lot of accountants out there want to terrify you so they can get work. I'm not going to scare you into picking me as your accountant. I'm going to tell you that you're not paying tax if I'm your accountant, because I'm not afraid of the CRA like accountants are. You can write off an entire vacation, the whole thing. You can write off haircuts under marketing. Yeah. You can write off breast implants under marketing. Yeah. If you get a skin peel done, you can write that off under marketing because you got to look good on camera to get clients. Yeah. Yeah. I see this beard trim today. All right. I gave it a bit of a wedge look today. I charged myself $18,000 for this beard trim. That's it. And it's marketing, because the beard sells tax services, or so I say. All right. That's just how that works. So you can write off everything. Don't be afraid to write stuff off. Janine, trying to message you, but it cut me short. Try again. I'm here. Don't use DMs. I don't answer DMs, please. And also, everybody, if you don't mind, there's only 9,000 likes here. Can we get everyone double finger? Let's go. Launch those fingers. Keep tapping. Let's get this thing up to 50,000 likes. We're at 9,000 now. I know we can do it. I know you can do it. I love you for doing it. And share this out, because this information is absolutely key for the whole country to get its hands on. YouTube chat room. Let's have a look here. Bull run. Even if a Canadian used the Panama Bank to cash out crypto, the bank will snitch on him via CRA. No. Panamanian banks, Colombian banks, Brazilian banks, they're not reporting anything to the CRA. The CRA has no jurisdiction anywhere, not even in Canada. So no, that's not true at all. Hi, Kevin. Can you do my taxes this year? I'm waiting for my T4A from my former employer for my pension. Yeah, of course. Anybody who wants their taxes done, just jump on over, grab yourself a consultation on my website. We'll go through your taxes, and then we start the taxes immediately following that if you like the quotation that we give you. 100%. What is the Canadian equivalent to the USA's 1099A? So let's use a capital name. Okay, guys, that's a difficult one. I'm going to avoid that one for now, only because I don't know anyone that's ever had success with that. So let's leave that one be. My business partner and I are splitting ways. I want to take my portion of the money in the company and not pay taxes. I want to leave to Mexico ASAP. Okay, so take the money. Take your money. And if he doesn't want to do business with you any longer, take everything that you contributed to that corporation that you can prove that you did, and that would be proving with an affidavit, not with receipts, and just go. Just go. I had to walk away from a whole bunch of really bad business partners in the past, and I would just walk into the office. I would grab my computer, grab everything I paid for, throw it in boxes. 2 or 3 friends would help me move the stuff out. I would get whatever was mine inside the bank account. I wouldn't take it all if it wasn't mine. Whatever was mine, cut myself a check, certified, of course, and leave. That's it, and leave. I had a guy named Mike Wixon, my God, Wixson. This guy was a horrendous business partner. I just decided to go in there on a Sunday night. It was 1 o'clock in the morning, and I just grabbed everything that belonged to me, even the coffee. I bought coffee. I took the coffee with me. Horrible business partner. And I just didn't show up. I went out and started working for someone else for a short while, and he made phone call after phone call after phone call. I wasn't going to answer the phone. I just decided I'm done. The whole idea in business is not to upset your business partners, everyone. It's to, and not upset your clients and not upset your suppliers. It's okay to upset the government. It's okay to upset the CRA, but I don't know why so many people just can't get along. I swear to God, every business partnership out there, it's like a bad marriage. What's the matter with everybody? You want to make money, or you want to have a fist fight inside your own office? A lot of growing up needs to happen in the world, I think. Kevin, I have millions of dollars coming back to me from an investment out of the United States. Can you help me legally not pay a penny in taxes? Can you help me protect my money? I'm a Canadian living in Canada. Yes, if you have an investment in the United States, we want to get that thing into an American bank account. So I can help you register an American corporation, get an American bank account opened up, and then beyond that, we could move the money into Panama or into Mexico. We could move it somewhere where it's going to be safe. The answer is yes, I would love to. Please use my website right here, kevinjjohnston.com. Let's get that rocking there. Can you help with tax farming by CRA? Yeah, of course. I love working with farmers when it comes to taxation, because it's not easy, but I have it down to a science now. There's a few steps we have to follow. And if I do them in the exact order that I have figured out works, it works. Let's go to the Rumble Room, everybody. Schmugen. I haven't filed taxes in 4 years, not personal and not corporate. Paid over $50K personal income tax each year. Also looking for advice on how to handle $100K of crypto. Any thoughts would help. Number one, shut up about your crypto. Be silent about crypto. You don't have to report that to anybody. Make sure your crypto is on a hard wallet, or if you're playing in crypto.com, everyone, that's fine too. It's better to have a corporate account and not a personal crypto account. I put maybe about 10-20% of my crypto into crypto.com and play with it. It's a lot of fun. I like trading. I like doing day trading in crypto. And that's the only one I really think is a good time. Binance is okay for long-term trades. Yeah, why not? But I'm still going to remain silent about that. You'll never know how much I have in crypto. And everybody who wants to pay crypto, we give 10% off. Every single invoice we write, if you pay us by crypto, we do 10% discounts, regardless of the size of the discount. And we had someone sold us a corporation just last month. Yeah, that's right. They owed $1 million. That's right, $1 million. All right. And that would normally be a $200,000 fee for us to take over the entire debt, but they got $20,000 off the price just by paying crypto. I believe in crypto so much, I'm prepared to walk away from $20,000 today for the benefits in the future. So spend crypto here. All right, let's go back to the, oh my God, TikTok is like 100 questions here. All right. They took $55,000 out of my bank today for GST. I have to fix your GST reporting and get it down to zero so we can get that money back for you. All right, so get a hold of Randy right now on my website. Everyone, go to my website. Get yourself a consultation. Let's fix your taxes. Don't wait on this. If you get one threatening letter, by the way, anyone from the CRA, please empty your bank account immediately. Get the money out. Don't put the cash in your pillow. That's the first place they look. Maybe wrap it in tinfoil and then wrap it in something that's fireproof and stick it in your vents. Do something. Just keep it away from them until I can fix your tax problem for you. I want to put my assets in a trust and put my corporation in the trust. Is that a good idea? Yeah, but trusts are expensive. It's like 40 grand, man, to set one up. So if you don't have 10 houses inside of 10 separate corporations and a couple of corporations making money and a whole bunch of cars and investments and all that, if you don't have a lot, don't spend $40,000. Put your assets into a couple of numbered corporations instead. So it's going to cost you between, let's say, $2,000 and $4,000, pending how much time I spend on your corporate bylaws. But once that's done, you don't need the trust. You'll save 36 grand just like that. It's a lot of money, guys. Sorry, let me get this camera to work here. It's a lot of money. So we don't want you wasting money if you don't have to. I have the email box. I just had a marriage proposal. No. I did that for 21 years. I'm good, thank you. All right, so my mortgage needs renewal before March 1st. Will I be able to book a meeting with you? Yeah. We opened up 1,100 consultations. About 150 got snapped up just like that. But yes, we have February slots that are open right now. Oh, Janine, please don't DM me. Go to my website right now, please, and use the contact form. Randy is going to reply to you right now. He's sitting right here in the room with me. He will answer you right now. Please, Janine. I almost never get to DMs. There are just too many of them. Hilarious Eli. CRA reassesses you based on the forms they have on file from your banks or employer. Not from your banks unless they put a request for information in, but from your employer, sure. Yeah, the T4 and the T4A. Most employers out there are really dumb people, and they think that you have to fill these forms out. They think you have to be on T4. It's ridiculous how people think. When someone says I have to do something, I guarantee you I don't have to do it. There's not a law out there that says I have to wear a white t-shirt. Some of you object to the fact that I wear black t-shirts. I want to see Kevin wear a white t-shirt. I don't have to do it. You don't have to fill your taxes out. You don't have to do something by a set date because some loser in the government tells you to. You don't have to do anything. Your time belongs to you. You're the one who should be segregating your time the way you wish and not giving it to those who want something for free. I'm going to give you a prime example. I got this law. I bought a corporation based in the province of Ontario. And this lawyer kind of comes with it because the corporation had a lawsuit filed against it. This lawyer says that they don't like me because they looked me up on Google and they think that I'm a really bad guy because the left-wing nut jobs at the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation says so. And they said that they want to be removed as the lawyer for that corporation. And I sent them off a nasty email saying, I don't care. Go. Yeah, I'm not going to make you stay. And here's how crazy the lawyers and the courts are. What they've done is they have filed a motion in the court to have a judge say that they can be relieved as the lawyer. Now, I've already told them, fungulo, get lost. I don't want you as my lawyer. You're free to go. Don't bother me. But no, they want to follow the rules. They're really the courts love their stupid rules. It's such a childish system. So this law firm sends me an email stating that they need me to appear in court so they can ask to not be my lawyer. I told them an email today. You're not my lawyer. You suck. I'm not going to be in court. I'm deleting this email. I'm not giving my time away to some law firm. Yes, hello, my name is Jennifer Jones, and I am with the Apex law firm, and I've been licensed 14 years, and it's going to go on, and they're going to read like 7 pages of prepared material to say that we want to step down as Kevin J Johnston's lawyer. And I'm saying the only reason that you're my lawyer is because I bought this corporation. I don't know you, and I don't like you. You're fired. Get lost. I'm going to have to sit in court going, while they are reading this statement about why they don't want to be there. I'm just going to, what I might do for kicks, appear by Zoom and say, hello, Your Honor, that lawyer sucks. That lawyer's fired. They're asking to be let go. Get rid of them. Gotta go. It's ridiculous. I'm not giving my time away for free. I'll do that more for comedic effect than anything else, but for no other reason. How much do you charge to do taxes for self-employed people? I just have my own GST number and no company. That's just personal tax. So, I mean, at the low end, if it's not a complex case, it's $950. And if it's at the higher end, really complex, it could be $2,500. Most people are low. Most people are not complex. So book a consultation on the website right now, please. Let's get you booked in and let's get your taxes done for you. All right. We're looking. Do you declare interest from a Canadian bank investment when I file personally? No, I don't, because what do the banks in Canada pay right now? I think Toronto Dominion Bank pays 0.1% interest, even if you have $1 million in the bank. So if I'm doing your taxes, would I say, oh yes, John here earned 18 cents in interest? Or would I just do your taxes to make sure you don't pay tax? It's easier to do it my way. Bank interest is dumb. Don't report that stuff. Can you yourself open up a company in Canada under your name? Yeah, you can, but you have to do what's called a nuance search. Nuance, N-A-U-N-S, nuance. So the nuance search will see if there's another corporation in the country currently with that very same name. So John Smith Incorporated, definitely not. Parminder Farouk Salim Maka Chaka Ding Dong Wing Wong Incorporated, probably. That just depends on how complex the name is or how common the name is. But the answer is yes, if it's available. All right. Rockster33 says he just signed up for the GST program. Randy? Rockster, look at that. I just got a thumbs up. So, yes, we saw that. Could you answer him now, please? All right. He's going to answer you right now. Woo! Talk about efficiency. Yeah, guys. Okay. This is not a political show. I am not offering opinions on battles taking place around the world. I'm just not doing. That was the old show. I have not done political anything since January of last year. My last political show was the first week of January last year. Okay. Let's talk about money. Let's make money. I love making money. Being a social commentator, yeah, it's a lot of work. It doesn't make money. Concerning yourself with world politics right now doesn't make money. If we're talking Australia and Canada, you can make a ton of money if I'm your tax guy, because I'm going to make sure you don't pay tax. That's it. There'll be no more tax in your future. Let's focus on that, okay? Forget the world. You can't change it anyway. There's no one out there's got heat vision like Superman. You're not fixing anything. Focus on you. Go to the gym. Fill your head with books that were written before the left wing took over, like maybe 1993 backwards. Learn how commerce works. Get out there, make money. Make me your tax guy. Don't pay tax. Keep your money. Can we wipe out a SEBA loan? Well, I could buy your corporation that has the SEBA loan, and the SEBA loan will become my liability, my problem to deal with. The answer is yes, I can wipe it out, but you got to sell me your corporation. Please communicate with Randy on the website right now if you don't mind. Thoughts and tips on transferring my dad's shares to my name and my brother. He passed away in August. Number one, shut up about that. All right, just quiet. Get the death certificate. Go to your dad's bank. Show it to them. Pull the funds. Everything. If they say they won't give you cash, fine. Get a bank draft in your own name and move it to your name. As for your stocks and shares, same thing. You have to have the death certificate. And with the death certificate, especially in Canada, they are hard pressed to find any reason whatsoever to hold it back unless somebody in your family is a toolbox and decides that they want to put it into probate. And that's a really big problem. When someone dies, a lot of people in the family start to show their true colors and start fighting over stuff that was never theirs, but they say it was. And when probate starts, guess what happens? The lawyers get rich, everyone else goes broke. So please make sure that you just silently do everything. Now, as for your dad's shares, if he's dead and you are the next of kin, those shares will default to you unless and only unless in the corporate bylaws that he may have written, the shares are designated to go to someone else. But if he has no corporate bylaws, they're yours. And that's it. And share transfers can be done with a writing of brand new corporate bylaws. That's something that I do for $4,000. We get them done fast. We get them done right. We swear them in. And congratulations, they belong to you. All right, everyone. MG89, you have a condo on Lakeshore. Ooh, must be pricey. Okay, just checking a lot of your questions here, everyone. How long have I been studying taxes? Since I was 13 years old. That's 1983. I'm 54 now. 41, 42 years. Long time. Rockster says, I'm not paying tax ever again because I'm using KJJ. I like this guy. I like this guy a lot. Let me check the YouTube room. Way Linison. Where are you here? All right, so if I leave my business partner, get a certified check for half the amount in the bank, and then don't claim it on my tax for 2026, well, if I'm your tax guy, that's exactly what's going to happen. Because what that would be called, this is cool, that's a good question. It's great when you know the law, not the tricks, but the law. When you put any money into a corporation in Canada, you are allowed to withdraw that money at a future date tax-free. And how would the CRA know if, let's say, you took $80,000 out of the company, but you only put $79,000 in? How would they know that they can tax you on $1,000? They wouldn't, unless, of course, you tell them. So when you take half the money out of the corporate account with you leaving your partner behind, it's not going to be taxable if I'm your tax guy, because I'm going to consider that the corporate withdrawal. I'm sure at some point between buying coffee, buying lunch, buying fuel, buying computers, paying the bills, some of that money was your personal money. You're allowed to take it all out tax-free under a corporate withdrawal. Alrighty. So Samaya Halab grabbed a consultation. Samaya, if you want a date and time, right now, go to my website right now. In fact, there it is, right there, kevinjjohnston.com. Hit the contact page and just say, put your name, Samaya, down in the subject line right now. Randy's here right now. He will answer you right now. Get it done, please. I want to make sure that anybody who wants that consultation gets the consultation. Book them. How do you stop paying income tax from your employer? Well, you'd have to ask your employer to put you onto contract. You would register a corporation in the province in which you live, and then you'd show up with invoices, and you'd write an invoice for services rendered for Monday to Friday, whatever the hourly rate is you get, and you would actually add PST and or GST to that, or HST. Thank you very much, Rockstar. Appreciate it. That's how you do it. But the employer does have the right to say no. Now, it's his company. And a lot of employers will say, ready? My favorite, my least favorite. It's the law. I have to, I've got to deduct tax. I don't want to go to jail. Losers. And if you know people like that in your life, you got to dust them. Thank you, Roger. I appreciate that. Yeah. If you are around people that are constantly afraid of prison time, and it's like for stupid stuff, you got to be away from them. I mean, my sweet mother, God bless my mother. I love my mother. She's dead now, but I would do something like hang upside down off of a railing. Stop it. Someone's going to call the police. You're going to go to jail. Stop it. He says, shut up. Of course, no, I'm not going to jail. Everyone thinks this jail stuff. It is mind-numbingly foolish for any of you to consider the fact that the only thing that can happen when you do something that someone else doesn't like is that prison is ultimately where you're going to go. That's just not how the law is. So that's the problem with employers, my friends. A lot of times they'll say that they have to. You don't have to do anything. I've covered this before. You don't have to do a damn thing. I don't have to wear pants. This is my office, and if I don't feel like wearing pants, I'm not going to, because I don't have to do anything. All right? There we are. Robert, he's asking how to proceed with opening a bank account in Argentina. I have never been to Argentina, but I am going this June. I'm going to go and check out Buenos Aires and have a look around. And I'm going to make my way over to Montevideo in Uruguay and check out their banking system. I'll have more answers for you then if you're okay waiting for that. Checking more of your questions here. Oh, this one sounds good. I'm building a $1 million subdivision in Rocky Mountain House. What's the best way to F the CRA? Dude, the GST is going to kill you on that. Get a hold of me on my website right now. I want to talk to you about that development right now. By the way, for those who don't know, Rocky Mountain House is the name of a town in Alberta. It's northwest of Calgary, southwest of Edmonton. Cool little place. What sucks about it, though, is the Royal Canadian Mounted pieces of crap. You know, that police force, they police that place. Oh, man, I hate those guys. That's what sucks. And they're ultra aggressive for some reason. Really horrendous. So MG89 says no probate. We had a joint bank account. Fantastic. Excellent. MG89 says we paid $238,000 for the condo. It's now worth $550,000. Okay, now might be the time to sell if you're planning on leaving the Greater Toronto area. But if that's your primary residence, there's no there's no capital gain anyway, so it doesn't really make a difference. But if it's a secondary property, make sure I'm your tax guy, and then there's going to be no capital gain because I'm going to sell you my capital losses to wipe that capital gain out. And like I said earlier in my show tonight, everyone, if you have a capital gain, I can sell you a capital loss, and your books are going to balance out at zero, and that means you're not going to be paying any tax at all. Don't forget, everyone, sell me your TikTok channel. Sell me your Instagram channel. If you have more than 500 followers, I am buying those accounts right now. Get a hold of me on my website, kevinjjohnston.com. And the last Wednesday of this month, we are having another group consultation. It's only $250, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, Wednesday, February the 25th. It's a lot of fun because you've got 30 people in there asking awesome questions. It's always fun. It's 3 hours long. You get a private meeting, 30 people tops, plus Randy, who works with me, not for me. He'll be there monitoring what's going on. So that's it. 32 people, including me and Randy, and 30 of you. That's it, guys. Limited seating. There's something like 9 or 10 left. So grab it now at kevinjjohnston.com. Let's go back to your questions, everybody. Dan, you're asking me, can the CRA check back 7 years? Sorry, can I get some more context for that question, please? I appreciate that. Okay, so my sister was overpaid on her LTD by $15,000 and is now deceased. They want her husband to pay it back. Well, he would let them know that he's going to invoke Clause 7 of the Taxpayer's Bill of Rights, and he's going to have to ask for a hearing. And the hearing can be by third-party arbitrators and just wipe that thing out. Also, the way to protect himself is to make sure that there's no house or car or bank accounts in his personal name. None of you should have a personal bank account that has more than $1,000 in it, and none of you should have a house in your name, nor should you have cars in your name. And starting in March, everyone, we have another program that we're bringing in. If you live in the province of Ontario and you don't feel like paying your 407 bill, I have a way out. You'll never pay tolls again. I've said too much. Check back in March. You're going to love it. Okay. SEC says executor fee tax table, multiple beneficiaries, probate completed in the province of Ontario. I'm going to need some context to that, please. It's a point form statement. Just word that as a question if you don't mind. Dane, small fish, is it worth starting an incorporated business for a small tutoring business? Can I reap tax benefits? Well, yeah. Simple things come up, guys. Always start to think ahead of what problems can arise. Let's say you're doing a small tutoring business and someone comes to your house, slips on the ice and breaks their hip. right? The corporation's insurance at that point can cover it. They would have to sue the corporation, not you, the individual person. All these things are what you need to consider. But yes, there's massive tax benefits to running a corporation, even if it's a small business, because when you first open your business, you've got the purchase of desks, chairs, lights, microphones, cameras, laptops, all of it. We can write absolutely everything off, and you can get some credit back from the GST office. You absolutely want to do that. Okay. All right. Yeah, the CRA is a third-party collection agency, folks. That is correct. They're not judiciaries. They have no power of any kind. And it's funny when I do talk to those people from the CRA that they are always telling me that they have authority. They have the Income Tax Act. And I keep telling them, okay, I'm not going to cooperate. I'm not going to give you any tax money. What you going to do about it? Come get me. What are you going to do about it? And my favorite. What are you going to do about it? And they don't do anything because they can't. They have no power. T-Pro, I have 2 10-year-old corporations with no tax history. Would I buy them? Yeah. Please get a hold of Randy on the website right now. The answer is yes, we absolutely will. Superman says, you mentioned collection agencies. How do you deal with them? And what if they sue you and put a collection account on your credit report? What you would, well, if you get sued, you got to file a defense and take it to trial. Always take something like that to trial if they decide that they want to try to force you to settle at a court. They can't put it on your credit score unless they win in court and then file a motion with the court to be able to put that onto your credit score. It's a lot of work they got to do to be able to harm your credit. All right, let's go back to TikTok here. All right. Wilder says, education, read people, know your rights and call them out. Yeah, save money. If you know your rights, you save a lot of money. Nodnarb says, thank you. The RCMP are crap here. Yeah, they're junk. They're garbage. I have zero use for the RCMP. They've proven to me time and time again during my journalism days that they are callous, gross, rude, far left wing, violent as hell, angry all the time. These guys are just miserable human beings. So it's bizarre that they put that uniform on and something clicks in their heads. They become animals. I don't dig them at all. MG89, if your condominium is an investment and you're charging rent for it, please do not report that on your taxes. Keep that information private. If you already have, then I can sell you my capital losses when it comes time to sell. All right, very good. Are joint bank accounts a good thing? Well, how do let me just tell the truth. I do not like tying my financial future or destiny to anyone. Even when I was married, look, my ex-wife would never steal from me. She never did. I had never had a problem with that. But I don't want the headache of having 2 different liabilities and 2 different responsibilities on the same bank account. I don't want anyone knowing what I'm doing with my money. Simple things, like let's just say I want to surprise my wife at the time with, I don't know, like some big gift on Valentine's Day. Well, with a joint bank account, I run the credit card. Boop, we both get emails saying that Kevin just bought roses at John's florist. So that's one thing. But also, I think that we can all agree that people are getting ridiculous these days and relationships are crumbling fast these days. So if you've got a joint bank account, in many cases, someone's always got that magical card where they can go and clean it out. I learned my lesson in the past when I was 23. I had a joint bank account with a girlfriend because I'm thinking, like, because when we're young men, we're stupid, right? Like, oh man, she's the best. She's forever. You know, she's the one. And all of a sudden, my bank account was empty. Yeah, she ain't the one, I'll tell you. I don't like that. Yes, it offers protection from the CRA, but why bother involving family members with the CRA if you're the one that's going to have the CRA trouble? Instead, you should have a numbered corporation that we can set up for you with a bank account in that numbered corporation, and that's the one that you use. Never mind shared accounts. Keep your personal life completely personal. Keep your bank accounts separate from each other. You'll stay married longer. All right. NLAP, thank you for your compliments. I certainly do appreciate that. Greatly appreciate that. All right. Let's go back to the YouTube room here for a second. Okay, we got all those questions are answered. Back to Rumble for a second. Superman, what about CRA writs or liens on a home? How do you remove those? I set your taxes to 0, and then we give them 30 days to remove the writ, because once your taxes are set to 0, there's no reason for them to have a writ or a lien. It is that simple. And for those who are curious, I'm seeing a couple of questions here. No, Christine no longer works with us, and I'm not going to get into any details. All right. Just checking more of your questions here. All right. Randy, Nod Narb just emailed you about the Rocky Mountain House development. Do you see that? We're waiting for a thumbs up. Hold on. And Nod Narb. Okay. He's checking it right now. He's checking it right now. He's eating a chocolate bar. Put the chocolate down. Put it down. Read. When a person passes on and they receive, so when someone dies, do you receive their RRSPs tax-free? No. You'll get their RRSPs minus the 38% in tax. But I'll get it back for you in the following tax year if I'm your tax guy. That's how that works. Here we go. Got a question over here in Instagram. Joan Gardro. How would it protect you from the CRA by having a joint bank account? Well, the CRA, you gotta know how the law works. So if someone is going to sue you and win money against you, but your bank account is shared with someone else, doesn't matter who, they would have had to have sued both of you and won against both of you. Then they can take it out. And the CRA is in the same boat. They can't just bypass the law. They can't take half the money out of a bank account when there would be no way for them to prove that the bank account is solely yours. So they will leave them alone until they get what's called a writ of execution against you. And the bank is going to call you in and say, hey, we got this letter from the CRA. We need you to explain yourself. We got to give them some money, and we'd like to know how much money is yours. It's a headache. Make sure that you have a numbered corporation and always have your money in that bank account. That we got to separate you from your personal. And I mean that. We got to, you cannot, nothing personal, guys. It's all got to be corporate. And that's also how we get around tolls in Canada. Yeah, we have corporate registrations for license plates. And guess what happens? If our corporation, if it's you working with us, you don't have to pay those tolls. And there's no way for them to enforce it because it's a corporation. Do that instead. Who is responsible to pay the estate tax when there is no will? So what you want to do, that's a good question. What you want to do, everybody, is make sure that you are the executor, grab everything, pull it all away, and then remove yourself as the executor. And just say, I'm resigning as executor. I don't want this responsibility. And then you make it John Smith. Or maybe your dog is named Rover. Make it Rover Smith. Make someone else the executor at that point and leave it that way for 2 years. And then you go ahead and put forward an application to close the estate. And Rover signs it with his paw. That's how you want to play that. Be the executor only long enough to get everything and remove yourself as the executor. And that way there's no tax. And it's completely legal. There you go. Yeah, guys, for those giving me the advice, I would never have a joint bank account with any human being ever. Wouldn't matter who it is. Wouldn't matter how hot she is. Wouldn't matter how good she is. You know what? Wouldn't matter how good the meals are. I'm not sharing a bank account with anybody. Period. Okay, so I got the email from Randy about the GSP program. Do I have to book another consultation now? No. For the GST program, no. You don't have to book a consultation. What you do at this particular point is make sure I have your contact information, because with the GST program, we want to make sure that one of us can get a hold of you with by email or by phone call. Make sure we have all of that info. Appreciate that. Now, the CRA cannot freeze joint bank accounts unless both of you have problems, in which case then they can consider it. May not work, but they can still try. What would you advise me to do if I take $250,000 out of my incorporation? Do I have to report it? You don't have to, but if you choose to, I would put that down as a corporate withdrawal, which are completely tax-free. I said this about 20 minutes ago. Whenever you put any money into a corporation in Canada, you are allowed to withdraw all of it absolutely tax-free as a corporate withdrawal. Yeehaw. Canadian Tracy. To avoid taxes on what my parents are leaving my sister and I, the house, should I both be... All right, well, to avoid the taxes on everything that your parents have left to you after death is to shut up, is to exercise your right to remain silent. You don't have to brag to anyone about what you got. You certainly don't have to tell the CRA anything. Remember, the CRA is relying on the Income Tax Act. The Income Tax Act says you shall do a tax return, not you must do a tax return. I'm going to keep saying it until everyone gets it. Shall is a suggestion, not law. It's not must. And remember what I said to all of you? You don't have to do anything. You know, the law says nothing. There is no law that says you pay tax. There's some rules. Rules are meant to be broken. If you can't enforce something, it's not a law. So, Canadian Tracy, great cowboy hat, by the way. Shh, make sure I'm your tax guy and you're not paying a penny on all of your inheritance. There we go. I'm just checking more of your questions here, everybody. Wow, here we go. So professional masseuse, Melissa. I thought only I had that view about money. I didn't quite understand that, but if you love money, say so, because I love money. Oh, yeah, I love money. Canadian Tracy, should I be on title? Well, it's never a good idea to have your name on the title of a house or any property for that matter. We can get you a numbered corporation and move the house into the corporation. That is not a problem at all. Not one bit. Yes, hers, I do taxes. And Gain Eager says, I have not filed taxes in 9 years. That's actually great. If you have not done taxes for 9 years, I can probably get you back a bundle of those. So there we are. I love when people haven't done taxes for that long. All right, Canadian Tracy, what about when they leave us the house? What about the probate? Probate only happens when somebody in the family objects to the will. If the house, however, is in a numbered corporation before death, then it's the corporate bylaws that determine who gets what, not the will, period. I've got properties all over North America now, Panama, United States, Canada. And each and every one of them is in a separate corporation with bylaws that dictate who gets what when I die. And that way, there's no probate. No one knows anything about it. Shares just go from my corpse to my alive next of kin. That's how you do it, folks. That is the best way. Dane, what if it's an equity inheritance? An equity inheritance? It's not a term I know. Equity in what? What kind of equity are we talking about? Are we talking about house equity? Could you clarify? Cars, gold, silver, stocks, bonds, crypto, house, cottage? What equity are you referring to? Let me know. No problem. Tracy, thanks for being here. Appreciate that. For those of you who are not following me yet, I give tax advice like this every single Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. So follow. What are you waiting for? Follow. And guys, girls, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, 13,500 likes. That's it? Come on. Let's go. Double fingers. Everyone, 2 fingers. Let's rock it. And everybody on Rumble, I've noticed that there's only 9 likes. That's not good enough. Everyone, please hit the thumbs up button right now. YouTube, same thing. Everyone out there, share, like, share, like. It helps the message get out. We want to make sure Canadians stop paying tax. And I am the only guy in the country that makes that happen. YouTube, Smokin Gongzo, good name. As a sole proprietor with little expenses, is there anything you can do to help me from paying approximately 40% of my income? Yeah, do your taxes properly. That's what I would do for you. I would do them properly. And as a sole proprietor, make sure you pay nothing. That's nothing. And I mean nothing. If any of you out there have a sole proprietorship, don't do your taxes yet. Let me take care of it. Your tax bill will be 0, like it should be. All right, what's next? What is next here? All right, Superman says, can you please go over how to leverage corporate debt? My friend from the gym is very interested. All right, well, corporate debt, it's not that you're leveraging it. What you're doing is you're selling it to me, all right? So all of the debt that you would have, you make sure your corporation holds some type of legal certificate. Yeah, excuse me, guys. Long day. Some type of certificate stating that the debt belongs to the corporation. Sell me the corporation, and then that company and liability become mine. Then we get you a brand new corporation starting over. We'll take over your GST and your payroll, and we will take some of what is done on GST and payroll and reinvest it back into your company. So we do a lot to get you out of debt, and then we get you some operating capital by utilizing our GST and payroll programs. That's how it works. I mean, I can't sit here and explain my secret sauce all night long, but I can assure you that you'll start making a whole lot more money when I wipe out your old debt and you start over completely debt-free. Hey, checking more of your questions. Professional masseuse. I meant view pertaining to the account sharing, by the way, 2 people. Sorry, I'm not catching that either. Did you have a question? Just go ahead and reword that and I'll answer it. I promise you. Lisa says, seriously. I'm always serious about what I say. Whether I'm jovial about it or not, I'm always serious about what I say. All right. Keep going here. Let's keep going. What happens if we don't get an objection letter in on time? We fill out another form to ask for a extension on it, and then we just redo that tax year, and we get them to analyze and then assess that new tax filing that we put forward. And if we don't like it the second time, we could appeal at that point. You just keep, if the CRA does not accept your taxes, we object and redo them, like a 1% difference, submit. And if they don't like it a second time, we appeal and do it again. Eventually, they will accept it. Perseverance, my friends. Perseverance. Johnny, so if I register a numbered corporation for a house or a driver's license, do I name myself as a director? Only for the first couple of days, so you can get the bank accounts opened up in the corporation's name, and then we remove you as the director, and we make the director Ronald Reagan, or Vladimir Putin, or Donald J. Trump, or any other fictional character out there, and you're protected completely. Never be the director of a corporation. There is no advantage to it at all. The director is always the sucker who gets left holding the bag when the corporation owes GST or payroll. Don't ever be the director of a corporation. Make it a fictional character, completely legal. The CRA doesn't like it, and they'll say it's against the rules, but we don't work for the CRA. We do not care what their rules are. If it doesn't say you can do prison time, if it doesn't actually say punishment, it's not a crime. Idiots. I can't stand those guys. Thompson. My parents put my name on the property. There's $365,000 my siblings were okay with. I'm not fully grasping what you said there, but if you want to reword that for me, I'll address it. Checking more of your questions. More of your... Sorry, guys. Stephen Howard says, you never see my messages. Well, sure I do. I just saw it. If I've missed one, just go ahead and retype it at the bottom, please. How far back can you go on taxes? You're allowed to go back 20 years. It's a matter of will they look at it. In the CRA, they're using the excuse that they fired 5,000 incompetent individuals, which they did do. But now that's the excuse for them not doing their jobs. They're always looking for a way out of responsibility. Always. So it's better to make sure that your taxes are done by myself and my corporation, where we wipe out all your tax debt from today backwards, as opposed to going back 10, 15, 20 years. We start now and begin to wipe everything out backwards. All right. So Rump, how do I say this? Rumps Kitali. If so, what do I have? Oh, I think it's a two-part question here. Okay, Rumps Tally. I think I'm getting part two of your question here. Would you say that you were entitled to CERB money by being on welfare? Well, everybody who applied for CERB got it. The only reason the CRA is saying people are not qualified for it is because the government's $1.7 trillion in the hole. And they're just looking to steal back as much money as they possibly can from the Canadian populace. That's all that is. There is a way to get everybody out of CERB debt. It's a bit complicated because they've changed the rules. They've changed their own internal policies. I despise them for it, but it is what they do. Anybody who wants to get rid of their CERB debt, what we do is we do a half-hour consultation. So you got to grab one on the website. But typically, if it's just CERB, I only have to actually consult with you for about 10 minutes, and we take the credit on the last 3 quarters of your meeting and put it onto the invoice to wipe out the CERB. I'm a fair guy that way, guys. Iron Shield Roofing Incorporated. Looking forward to the meeting tomorrow. Fantastic. Oh, guys, speaking of meetings, I got to ask a favor. All right. I know I've been a public figure now for, I don't know, like 9 years. When you have your consultations with me, don't do the hero worship thing. Don't start with, oh my God, it's nice to see you. I thought you were taller. I've been watching your show for 8 years, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Don't do that. Let's go to business. All right. Thank you. The reason that you're there is because you've watched my show. I know that you've watched my show. That's why we're having a consultation together. Don't spend 5 minutes blowing sunshine up my butt. I don't need that. What I need to do is my job. I want to consult with you directly face to face, find out what the tax problems are, and solve them as quickly as you possibly can. I did have someone came in the room. God bless them for it. I'm not angry, but they spent 11 minutes reminding me of cool things I said in the past that influenced them in some way. But great. Thank you for letting me know. But we're down to 19 minutes for your consultation, and we couldn't get through it. So let's just go straight to money. Business, guys. It's all good. Okay. Sorry, Nod Narb. I'm not sure what you're asking me, but if Randy replied to you, feel free to reply to the email address that it came from. He'll get back to you. That's a promise. Okay. Iron Shield Roofing Incorporated. Can you, hey, dude, what time are we meeting tomorrow? Because I'm in the office at 5 a.m. I'm going to be here probably about 12, 13 hours. If you're scheduled for tomorrow, I will see you tomorrow. OG Tom, what happens if you do my taxes and get it to 0 and they audit me? Oh, well, then we get rid of the auditor. We ban the auditor. We ban the entire auditing department from even calling you. I had a conversation today with ADP, the biggest payroll company in the world. And the girl I'm talking to says, oh, well, we have to cooperate. We have to help the auditor audit you. You can't ban an auditor. It's like, okay, well, now we know why ADP clients go broke, because ADP helps the CRA take your money, something I would never do. So if you get audited, we ditch the auditor. We ban them from your life. Floating spaces. What's your question, bro? I'm looking. Paul, my accountant says to me, if I take money out of the corporation, I have to pay tax on it. Your accountant's an idiot. Your accountant's a loser. Your accountant's a toolbox. Your accountant's bad for you. I'm telling you, if you take money out of your corporation, you just report it as a corporate withdrawal, 100% tax-free. It's tax-free. Why? Because you've already paid tax on that money before you invested it into the corporation. That accountant sucks. Tell him I said so. The CRA is sending a letter to me from my father who passed away in 2020. I would love to see that letter. Please get a copy of that to Randy right now on the website. We need to see that, please. Tracy. Sorry, Tracy, you want to get rid of what? Let me know. Oh, someone named Bob Johnston says, ready for this, everyone? This fella, so this guy's old, doesn't have a clue. Consult a CPA. Sure. And that CPA will work for the CRA and absolutely annihilate any opportunity you have for write-offs. If you come to me, you don't pay tax. If you go to a CPA, you pay tax. You know why? Because CPAs are terrified of the CRA, and I'm not. The CRA is terrified of me. They should be. I have such loathing and contempt and hatred for them that I'll do whatever it takes to win against them. And the CRA, they don't fight back when you go on the attack, period. So Bob Johnston, you suck. You are a coward like the rest out there. Buzz off. Go away. Don't need you. So Rumps, get over to my website. Grab yourself a consultation. We had 1,100 of them opened up for the year. We sold quite a few, but there's lots available. Jump on over and get that done. Thank you. Lucky Ducky. How can we put a character as director of our corporation if the CBCA says it needs to be a natural person? The CBCA has rules, not laws. Rules. There you go. My rule is you have to be cool to watch this show. But what if you're not? How would I enforce that? All right? How would I enforce that? There's no enforcement at all. It's not a law. It's a policy. There you go. And CBCA or whoever that is, they have rules. But there's no punishment if you ignore them. You want to be rich? Ignore rules. Do not follow the guidelines set forth in the Income Tax Act. They're not laws. The Criminal Code of Canada, that's the law. Don't steal. Don't blow stuff up. Don't pick a refrigerator up and drop it off of a bridge on top of a moving car. These are good rules for society. They're laws. All of those have a punishment when you violate them. But if you violate the Income Tax Act, the CRA gets really mad and they shake their finger and nothing else happens. So the director can be Crypto the Superdog from that stupid Superman movie. Yeah, it could be anything or anyone. Pick your favorite fictional character and make that the director. Thank you. Pocket your money. Keep it where it belongs. Canadian. Do you do a free consultation or is it a certain amount? Well, God, I don't even know what I charge anymore. I think it's $6.95 for the half-hour consultation and $1,500 for the weekend 1-hour consultations. But Tracy, I think that you might want to jump into the group consultation. That one's only $250. It's the last Wednesday of every month except for December. The next one is 8 p.m. Eastern time on Wednesday, the 25th of February. And they're actually a lot of fun because there's only 30 slots. It's not recorded for the public to consume. We never release any of it, and everybody gets to ask whatever question that they want. It's a pretty cool time. Come on in and join the fun. Jeremy, get rid of my taxes owing and I'll cut you a check for 50 grand. Challenge accepted. Please get all the details over to Randy right now on my website. My name, kevinjjohnston.com. 50 grand. I like money. Yeah, that's a sweet talking kind of guy there. Do something for me and I'll give you 50 grand. Yeah. All right, let's do it. Talk to Randy on the website right now, please. And remember, everybody, do not DM me. I will not get to DMs. I don't do DM communication. I will never ask for money from any of you through Telegram or Signal or social media. It's done through my website. If you're not speaking to me in a consultation one-on-one where you're asking questions and I'm actually interacting with you, do not hand any money over. There are scammers absolutely everywhere. Ask me to put my famous glasses on, all right? The AI bots can't do this. Hold up my blue mouse, hold up my blue camouflage mouse, take a sip of water, and do something, but make sure you're actually speaking to me, the live human being. Too many deep fakes out there, and it's going to get a whole lot worse, not better, for deep fake technology. Better for the scammers, worse for us being scammed. Don't get scammed. Don't give money out through social media. Guardian's asking here, my accountant put shareholders loan instead of a corporate withdrawal. Yeah, those are ridiculous, everyone. Don't do shareholders loans officially on paper. Just do corporate withdrawals. The accountant's a toolbox. The reason they do this stupid crap to make you pay tax is because they're afraid of the CRA. They are afraid of the Canada Revenue Agency. So accountants do this nonsense and it ends up costing you money. So you're paying an accountant to make sure you pay no tax. Then you end up paying the accountant and paying tax. It doesn't make sense. So stay away from CPAs and from accountants because they're bad for you. They're very bad for you. All right. All right. So Tracy says, I have to join you in your next live. Got to put the kid to bed. Do what you got to do. We'll see you on the next one. That's a promise. Hilarious Eli, with a corporate withdrawal, how do you balance your books? How'd you get the money to the corporation? Correct answer. None of the CRA's effing business, period. It doesn't matter where it came from. Where did anything come from? If you state that 18 years ago, you put $1 million into your corporation so that you can remove $1 million tax-free from your corporation today, how would anybody at the CRA or the ATO know? They wouldn't. Why? They're dumb, number one. And number two, their crystal ball doesn't work. They don't have crystal balls, folks. There's no way for anybody in government to know what you do until you tell them. So we don't tell them anything except what benefits us, period. Rosa, can you help with a GST tax bill? Yep. Grab yourself a consultation, please. Get over to the website right now, kevinjjohnston.com, and let's rock on that. Appreciate it. Hello, question. Jeffrey's asking, I speak English, my father not so much. Does your team speak French? Well, je n'ai pas. Parlez-vous français? Yeah. I don't. But I've got this translator toy here. All right. So this thing here, I think it'll do French. It does Spanish. I know that. Hello, everybody. How are you today?
Hola a todos. ¿Cómo están hoy?
We could do it through the translator. I'm sure there is a way to get anything to work. I've got a couple of these. They're great. One for my knapsack, one for my bedroom. Yeah, never mind. All right, let's move on to the next question here. We will help you out, is what I'm saying. Okay, so Nod Narb. How much to get rid of a 400K debt? My buddy doesn't trust me that you are the guy. He's willing to pay 10%. I'm going to let Randy is going to communicate with you. Gentleman named Tim. runs that department. So when you get a notification, I'm not going to tell you Tim's last name, but you can confirm with me on my website that he's legit, and everyone is going to get a price agreed upon and get the deal done. That's it. So I'm not going to discuss pricing here because everyone's case is a little bit different. All right, we got 5 minutes to go here. Let me look at the Rumble room for questions. If you're showing so Dr. Art, if you're showing no income on your tax return, how do you get mortgages or lines of credit to run a business? We would put you down at big earnings like 200K. You'd have to pay the tax on 200K. You go get the mortgage, and then we say, oops, it wasn't 200, it was 20. Get your money back. It is that simple. Schmoogan, when you say you can go back 20 years, is that personal or corporate? It's both. It's just up to the CRA if they're going to accept it. That's the problem. It's legal to do it. They sometimes don't accept it because they're lazy and they don't want to give you money back they've already collected because they're cheap and they're criminals. Oh, when I say that I'm talking to Randy, am I talking to the AI assistant? Could you shout into the microphone, please?
Yes, I'm AI.
Yes, he's AI. Shut up. No, he's a human being 2 inches taller than myself, sitting 9 feet away in the dark for some reason. It's kind of creepy. All right. How much would you charge to do my taxes? Well, I mean, Dane, as I mentioned earlier in the show, for anything that's not overly complex, it's $950 per tax year. If it's complex, up to $2,500 per tax year. Complexity is based on what we determine. Excuse me, in the consultation. Sorry, guys, I've been up since 4. I get up early. There we go. OG Tom, if I had a consult with you last year and we want to use you now, do you still need a consultation? I would start with emailing Randy right now what the notes were for that consultation last year. I can pull the notes from your file because I've got transcriptions of every meeting, and let me see what happens. All right, get a hold of Randy on the website right now, kevinjjohnston.com. All right, we're down to our last couple of minutes. Let me check the YouTube room here. All right. All right, YouTube's been answered. Let's see, any more questions here? Quebec taxes are difficult. What we do for Quebecers is we get them away from Revenu Quebec by having you open up, or we will open it for you, a numbered corporation in Ontario, and we also change your residency to Ontario, and now you can make money in Quebec and not involve the Revenu Quebec psychopaths. That's one of the big things that we do now for Quebecois. Let me know if that is something you'd like to do, and we can eliminate all your future tax bills. Okay. What are we going to do with crypto once it skyrockets? I'm going to do what I've always wanted to do, and that is build a go-kart track for professional go-kart racing. You'll have to have roll cages because my intent is to design the track to make it so difficult to drive that there's a possibility of death on the track. Yeah, that's something I've always wanted to do because I love extreme stuff like that. Beyond that, I'd invest in solid properties, foreign currencies, gold, silver, what. Like once I get to 100 million bucks, I'm just going to have a whole lot of fun. How's that sound? What do you do when it explodes? Enjoy life. That's what you do because it's short, dude. It's really, really short. Period. All right. Well, that's it. Wow, we got through all the questions tonight. What a remarkable time. We really rifled through all those questions, didn't we, everybody? Woo! It's been a long day. It's been a long couple of weeks. It's actually been a long couple of years since I started this tax business up, but it's been absolutely worthwhile. Taking $400 million away from the CRA last year tickles me in just the right way. Don't forget, everyone, we've got the group consultation taking place on the last Wednesday of every single month. The next one is going to be on Wednesday, February 25th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Get your consultation now at kevinjjohnston.com. I want to say thank you for being here. My name is Kevin J Johnston. This is the Tax and Money Show that runs every single Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time right here on freedomreport.ca. I love you all and good night.